Yo, welcome all, one and all, to the 1 6 Scale Man Probably presents. You know what it is, Rise and Chai. It's been a minute, but we are back. So glad to have you here with us as we are going to have a fun show today, a bit of a fun show. As we actually count down, not even a countdown. It's not even a countdown. We're not doing a countdown. We're just going to basically talk about our favorite, films, whether it's films, streaming, collecting anything that was actually in the stratosphere of collect or of entertainment this year for 2022. We're going to actually go down and just do a rundown on that. Just give our quick takes, talk about it a little bit, and just have some fun. Maybe you agree, you disagree, but it's going to be a fun show. We want to have you here with us. You can have your input, and we'll just rock out like that. But of course, I can't do this without my bro, as always. Now, Marvelous couldn't be here. She had some things going on with family. Again, we want to basically give our prayers to her and make sure that everything is straight. We will see her, basically next week, same time, same channel. So I can't wait for that. And I think next week, I don't know about Rich, but I think next week we should do a 2-hour show. But I'm gonna talk to him about that. We'll have a conversation about that. But I'm gonna bring him in, my bro, all day, every day. Rich, what is going on with you, man? How you doing, man?
What is going on, brother? What is going on, everybody? I'm great, thank you, man. I had an amazing few weeks with my family over Christmas. It's been amazing. My little daughter wasn't very well at one point, but she's okay now. But I got to see my brother, which was incredibly important to me. He's over from Spain. So we had a big family reunion thing a couple of days ago, which was amazing. He brought his sons over, and it's just amazing. So yeah, just a lot to unpack, and it's just been amazing. But yeah, like you said about Les, absolutely 100%. Sending our love to that family member that's not very well. Hope they're okay. And sending love. Next week is my wife's birthday, but I did ask her if she didn't mind me being on this, and she said no, it's fine. So
we'll see.
If we do a 2-hour, maybe we do a 2-hour.
We'll see. We'll see if we'll wing it. We'll wing it.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. Because that's like I said, next week's my vacation week. So I was like, you know what? Let me just
that's good.
kind of have some fun with the crew. We can. If we start earlier, then we can get that time and talk to Les. We can definitely do that. I'm all in. You let me know when you're free. Yeah, we can do that. We'll
I'm free 100%. I'm off those couple of days. So
all right, cool. We can rock out. We can definitely do it. So yes, next week. Yeah, we can definitely get in. And so thank you for being here, bro. As always.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
As always, man. And thank you guys out there for being with us and joining us for today's show. It's going to be a fun one. Let me actually address the chat and see who's actually in here with us. We got Calvin Williams, my bro, all day, every day. Ash Chase is in the building. Thank you for being here. We got William Owens, Louis Labitz, Andrew Gibo. We got the Empire Strikes Again, PT Works. Yo. We got Windman 42, AJ Agrusa, channel member AJ Agrusa, as well as Windman. We got Machiavelli the Dawn in the building. Thank you for being here, Tyria. And yes, man, a host of other people that are actually trickling through. We got Agent Silver Foxes already. Thank you for being here. We got Frogman also in here with us, man. Love it. Thank you for being here with us, man. So yes, man, we got some couple things we're gonna really chit chat about. We want to talk about what's going on. Like this year was like a lively year. It was. Here's the thing, bro. Like honestly, I believe that this year was a year that was pretty divisive. It was divisive in so many different ways when it comes to different IPs. Some people had things that they loved, some people had things that they hated, and again, it was just one of those situations where it was just like really crazy, like a crazy year of entertainment. But it's been good. It's been good so far, bro. So
it's been amazing. Yeah, it's been funny because this year was billed as the year of DC.
Yeah,
because they were going to release The Flash, they were going to release Aquaman 2. They got pushed back. I think maybe Shazam 2 as well, including all the other ones that were released. It's just a shame that they got pushed back, and obviously everything else that happened. So that would have been amazing to have given them a really good day in the sun rather than elongated it a bit. But yeah, it's been an amazing year. I mean, we are so lucky to be in this day and age.
Yeah, bro.
Just exposed to so much amazing entertainment. And obviously the pandemic had a lot to play with it. There were a lot of things that were delayed so much that they were released this year. For the right reasons, including Top Gun Maverick and stuff. And, because obviously if that was released at streaming, it would be a very different experience and different result. Same with Avatar 2, etc. But yeah, so nice. It's been amazing. It's been surprising. A lot of films surprised me for good and ill.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it will be one of the on our list, which will be the same.
yeah,
One in
yeah,
particular
yeah.
that we,
It's going to be
yeah,
a couple of things probably on our list that
yeah,
are going to
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
some disappointments there,
Mm,
that we'll have. But we'll
mm.
definitely patch through it and give our take on what we think, kind of won the day or was interesting and but yeah, without the disappointments, we can't
Mm.
have like the wins without the disappointments, man. You know what I mean?
True,
So
true.
we can't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
appreciate the
yeah,
wins without some of the disappointments. But
yeah. What does it
you,
say? Sour and sweet, or
yeah,
sweet? Yeah,
better
something
than
like that.
sweet,
Yeah,
man. You already
yeah.
know,
That's
man.
it. Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
always think better with the sweet. That's what my mom used to
Hmm.
always tell me.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, let's talk about it though real quick. I mean, let's go over some of like what were some of your like the highlights in entertainment for you, man.
So I was going to do a video on this, but I might as well do it here. So
Yeah.
it was I broke it up to my top three, top five of films, my best of 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and I only got four of 2022. And the reason
Mm-hmm.
why I did that is because it was like the ones I absolutely adored.
Mm-hmm.
And these are films starting. So the first one is Avatar: The Way of Water, which is number four.
Yeah.
Yeah. So number
Yeah.
four out of four at the minute is Avatar: The Way of Water. That blew me away. I loved the first one. I thought James Cameron is a genius, but I only watched it like
Mm.
13 years ago with my family, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it at the time. It's just obviously mind blowing and special effects. James Cameron is a genius. But this
Bro.
film, when I went to see it,
Yeah.
blown
Yeah.
away. And obviously now, like, I'm a dad now, where obviously I wasn't at the time. And with
Yeah.
Jake Sully's character, obviously he's a father and stuff. And just obviously not going to go into spoilers, but like that film, the special effects, it's the best special effects in anything I have ever seen.
Yeah, bro.
It's
Special
just
effects were heavy.
it's just
Heavy.
amazing, and some of the action sequences just fantastic. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I can see why they are going down the route of a lot more sequels because there is so much to tell.
Mm-hmm.
There was some criticism on in terms of the story or the plot, and it's like it's a bit simple, but like most films are,
Mm-hmm.
unless they're overcomplicated for the sake sometimes. But the premise is there, and yes, in some ways it is a retread of the first. In terms, it's a brand new area to that world and them getting used to it.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
just blew me away. Fantastic. That's number four for me. Number
Yeah.
three is The Batman. Right.
Mm.
That would have been higher if
Mm.
the other two didn't affect me as much as they did. So
Mm.
The Batman. I love Batman. You can see I love DC. But it reinvigorated my love of Batman. This I did a review on my channel, and it was when I was starting up, so I was kind of like a bit rusty. I think I did it as a script, and I was like tracking it, so I was like reading the so it was a bit of a
Yeah.
teleprompter.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
top of the dome for me, it's just stunning. It's the closest to any of the recent comic books that they've done, and the characterization of every single one of those that are on screen there. So the Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin, of course, Batman are amazing. This is a year two story. That beginning of the film where he's walking through with his
Yeah.
hood up and he's got the narration because he's writing his diary is just unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Unbelievable what they're doing with this
Mm-hmm.
trilogy. I hope that they do more than just 3 films, by the way. The fact they
Yeah.
started at year 2, they didn't have to do why he became where he did and all that kind of stuff like that. They went all in. That for me is genius. Everything
Yeah.
about it, I love.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Definitely.
films that I go back to the most. It's my birthday in January, and my wife turned around,
Word.
yeah. So my wife turned around to me and said, "Oh, I want to take you here for your birthday," and it's there's an international tour of the orchestra that did the score, and it's an official DC license thing where it's
Mhm.
basically one country each week, I think it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in March, it's at the Apollo Theatre in London, and it's a big thing. So it's the film with the orchestra. That is,
Word.
we're going to do that, and that's
going to be phenomenal, man. That's definitely going to be phenomenal.
So
yeah,
amazing. So I just absolutely love that. Number 3 is number 3 is the Batman. Number 2 is Top Gun Maverick.
Oh,
Top
wow.
Gun Maverick.
Yep.
I didn't love the first one. It was just all right for me. I was never a massive fan of that. I love Tom Cruise, what he has done for the film industry in his career, and just as a person, what he has done in just how he conducts himself and everything else like that, and how much he cares about film. I really commend that, and how he puts his body and life on the line quite a lot. I wouldn't do it.
I mean, does he? Does he, bro?
Yeah, he does, man. He does. It's different level. And what they did with this film, it was filmed in 2018, 2019. It was supposed to be released in 2020.
Yeah.
This film just blew me away. It reinvigorated my love of cinema, going to the cinema, because I kind of I was like, oh no.
And you know the crazy part about that though, Rich? I can admit it, and I'm not afraid to whoever wants to come at me for it. The first film, I'm with you, I didn't watch the whole way through, and I couldn't remember it. So what I did was, before I even went in to watch Top Gun Maverick, I went back and watched it, and I was like, okay, not expecting that. Okay, is it going to be the same feel, in Top Gun Maverick that I got? And surprisingly enough, it wasn't. I was surprised at how amazing Top Gun Maverick is. I mean, again, we talk about like the tropes. People compare it to like, the trench run of Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
But I mean, that's entertainment, bro. For what it is, I was thoroughly entertained.
Everything is derivative of something else. But the fact that they filmed it all in cockpit, the technology they built, and they trained those actors to be in the film. That we did a film club on my channel about this one, and they did include a lot of behind the scenes information on that one, and that was a really joy for me to kind of really research as to how they actually put those things together. That for me should have been number 1, but for me, a film that affected me the most out of this. Now, I'm probably going to get some shit from some people, but it's my opinion, and it is what it is. This film, I am already a massive fan of this artist, and the way that this film was portrayed with such passion, heart, and love just blew me away. And that film was Elvis. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. Now, guy called Austin Butler.
Bro,
it's just
he
insane.
did it great.
Have you seen it? I didn't know if you'd seen it or not.
Bro, I've seen the movie 3 times. I've seen it 3 times. I didn't. I'm an Elvis fan. We were going to see it in theaters, but we didn't actually make it out to the theater. But once it hit like HBO Max, and since I already have a subscription to it, I was it's a no-brainer. It's definitely a no-brainer.
Oh yeah. Just what he's done with this, with that film, Baz Luhrmann. I was never a massive Baz Luhrmann fan. I again commend of what he's done previously in films and done for film, but it's always a bit too quick and a bit too quickly cut and stuff. There was bits in Great Gatsby and Romeo and Juliet and stuff like that where it's gone too ham on the quick cuts, and I was a bit They did that first with The Colonel, where it was gone through Vegas a little bit too quick and all this kind of stuff, because it was in this fever dream of all the morphine it was on. Once that calmed down, for me, this is just stellar in every way. People say, oh, it's just another biopic. This is the biopic, because he is the first person, Elvis was the first person to basically do all those cliches, to get fat, get on drugs, get manipulated by his manager. All those things happened to loads more people in the music industry after that. But the cliche factor is because he was the first person to have those things happen to him.
Yeah, definitely.
What Austin Butler did in this film is unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
He deserves an Oscar 100%. it's one of the films that I go back to all the time and just absolutely adore. So for me, those films for the year, I mean, that's just insanely good. What about you? Is there any of those that obviously you would change? I'm assuming you wouldn't have Elvis at the top.
I mean, my list is, I mean, it's going to be okay. So my list is going to be quite a surprise. It's definitely going to be a surprise because there are, a few films that I have to slide in, based on, entertainment value, but also just heart, and also just, well directed, well written. You know what I mean? I think the cinematography is great for some, but then there's like certain stories that I'm like, this didn't make my top 5 list. It would definitely make my top 10. And to be quite honest, as much as I love Top Gun Maverick, that didn't even make my top 5, but it made my top 10 of the year. But my list, definitely has a few surprises on there, and some that I think that a lot of people will probably be like, what? Like, really? But the thing is, it's like all films, when we talk about it, all films are subjective, and it's subjective on what you basically think, what you love. So I'm going to actually, I'll go with my top. I'm going to go with my number 5. Now, again, my number 5 is not going to look like everybody else's, and it will be subjective. I will say that. But it is a film that I thoroughly enjoy, and I still watch almost every week today. Okay. Which I don't understand why it got a lot of pushback from a lot of people. I still don't get it. But again, all films subjective, all things subjective. It's going to be different for a lot of people. All right. So my number 5 film of the year for me, okay, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I love this film. I love this film. I don't care what anybody says. I love this film. It gave me everything that I actually wanted from a Doctor Strange film, like the quirkiness. A lot of people don't like Sam Raimi's direction. I understand that. But for what he did for this movie, for me, it was incredible. Of course, Scarlet Witch was a standout in this film, like dominated. Elizabeth Olsen killed it. She literally killed it. She brought a lot of gravitas to it. She brought heart to it. And you understood her story. And had you been in her position, a lot of people, I feel, would have probably made some of the same selfish decisions without thinking, because that we're impulsive. And it showed how impulsive and how, impulse and power, once mixed, it can be a dangerous a combination. So that's, pretty much what it was for her. Doctor Strange, conflicted. We had America Chavez. We had Mordor. We had, pretty much everybody. Wong. Everybody played their role. And then we got, a hint of the Illuminati. Now, here's the thing. Everybody's going to say it's fan servicey. But so what? I think it was basically fan servicey in a good way. And for me, it was used in a good way because, again, we got a chance to see. And I know a lot of people were really upset at the simple fact the Illuminati, were banished the way they were. But I think that it was a plot device there for a particular reason. Mind you, it was that universe's version.
I was going to say that. Yeah, that was one of many Illuminatis.
One of many Illuminatis. Yeah. And mind you, the Illuminati on what they deem the 616, mind you, that's a different conversation because this could be anything, 6. Yeah. But that hasn't been formed yet. So the Strange is kind of aware of what to look for and how things need to be, making different decisions. So I love the simple fact that we had. I love the simple fact. I mean, anybody who knows me, I'm a Captain Carter fan. I mean, I have the figure from What If. I loved seeing that character in there. Definitely love seeing that Earth's version of Captain Marvel. Love seeing, again, we got Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, having the absolute ultimate version and the true version of Black Bolt. I was happy about. And
that blew my mind. That blew my mind. Having him in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was in an atrocious TV show.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I think I made half an hour into it. To bring him into that was just amazing. I think for me, to not to kind of piggyback on this one for you, but I agree with what you're saying on this one. I think it's a good honorable mention. If Wakanda Forever hadn't been released, this would be my number 1 Marvel property release for the year. because
definitely.
I first came out of it and I was like, I had so many expectations coming out of the back of No Way Home, thinking that this is going to be the film that opens everything up, and this is going to be it's going
Mhm.
to have the most impact across all different areas,
Yeah,
and
bro.
I just thought all those things going in, and it didn't do that.
Yeah,
But what it
yeah,
did do is a fun fucking ride, and it was brilliant.
yeah,
I
yeah,
really enjoyed it.
yeah,
The only bit I didn't really like was the last bit when he's like walking down the street and he's got the third eye, he goes all spazzy,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
bit later on, he's just like, oh, walking down the street again. It's like, what happened there? It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
nothing happened.
definitely.
But yeah, I agree with you on that one. It was a great film.
It was definitely a great film and a great ride. One that I
Mm.
really, truly enjoyed. Number four for me, I mean, it's again my number four, and what I basically thoroughly enjoyed as well. I'm pretty sure that all of us did. You know, some did, some. You know, I think basically like, oops, my camera
Mm.
cut off. I think it's one of those things where people will enjoy it for what it was. Everybody, but I mean, the consensus says that they did, and that is, of course, Spider-Man: No Way Home. It was one of the best films of the year when it came to like
That
just
was last
pure.
year.
Was it
Yes,
last year?
cheated sod. Yes, that was
Oh,
last December.
it
Take
was
that
last
off.
December. Well, you know what? It's because I've seen it. I got to take that one off. But I got a replacement.
it's been re-released again.
It
That's
was
probably why.
re-released, and I think that's what it. But I got a replacement for that. So since that it was, so here we're gonna go. I'll say I'll replace that, and especially in the order of my favorites, I'll put in this aspect of it as my number four. We'll go with Avatar: The Way of Water. I'll go with
Mm,
that one because, like, clearly now, mind you, this week this film has made $1 billion
brilliant.
in 13 days, bro.
Hmm.
That right there is an achievement. I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody actually has to say about James Cameron. I don't care what you basically have to say about the films, what tropes you basically run. 13, like, bro, $1 billion in 13 days, and it's still going. And we still got this weekend, mind
Hmm.
you. We still got this weekend right now up until like February, I believe. There's not going to be another
Clear
film
run.
out
You got
there.
clear run for ages. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he has a clear run up until February because we got Ant-Man and a Wasp dropping again, you know, with the Quantumania.
Hmm.
So I mean he's gonna have a clear run. Now I know that like watching other shows like John Campia, he was like, there's no way, you know, in his mind frame, there was no way that this could reach 2 billion. If you made $1 billion in 13 days, bro,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
can have legs. Like you can still have some legs. And I don't doubt James Cameron can pull it off because this movie is still going, you know,
Well,
in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The first one only made 75 million in the first
Yeah.
weekend in the US,
Yeah.
and it was the word of mouth, very much like Top Gun Maverick. It was very much
Yeah.
word of mouth. Not
Uh,
everybody sees things on the opening weekend,
yeah.
so they go and the older generations and they enjoyed the first one, so they'll come out and see it and they'll hear that it's great. And
Uh,
I think it's got real legs on it. I don't think it will hit the 3 billion, which is what the first one did, but I think
yeah.
if it hits the two, I think it'd be amazing. There's no reason why it wouldn't. And I think with obviously what's happened in China,
Mhm.
with the COVID situation there, and then obviously the US last weekend, where obviously
Yeah.
the bomb cyclone that kind of affected a lot of movie going, people going out to see the film. So maybe that'll kind of calm down and then people start going back again. But yeah, I really want to see this film again. I've been
Yeah.
encouraging my mates to go out and see it with me because I saw it on my own the first time, and so it's a bit too long for my wife. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just a fantastic film, and I'm trying to encourage everybody I speak to how good it is because I don't think it's
Yeah.
getting enough talk out there really.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
because it's obviously not a Marvel film or anything like that, but I'm
Yeah.
really happy it's done so well, and it's so good as well. It's
Yeah,
so good.
definitely. It is, man. It definitely is. My number three, of course, no brainer, for anybody. And we've talked about this behind the scenes. I mean, you can't take away of how excellent, you know, this film was. I mean, again, I watch it every week. It was this film that pushed me over the edge and made me go back and get that Batman All In from NR. Because this film, come on, man. Batman, the Batman, you know, come on, man. Like literally, we had our doubts. A lot of us had our doubts about Battinson. We didn't know, you know, whether or not he was going to be able to pull it off. I think he did such an amazing job with giving us that, you know, that tormented, brooding, vengeful version of Batman. Colin Farrell, bro. Here's the thing. Colin Farrell, for me, he stole the show as the Penguin.
The performance is just insane. And I said about this before. My brother's an actor, and he was saying when he saw it, he said, "I can't believe," because he's followed Colin Farrell from the beginning.
Yeah.
He said, "I can't believe how good he was."
Yeah, like you didn't know it was him.
No, you didn't, and a lot of people didn't. When they were coming out, and I mentioned it to people and stuff. And I was Colin Farrell. I was like, yeah. So it's like that is just so good. I mean, that prosthetics on that, the performance, the cinematography, the way it was filmed, the car chase. I said in my review when I did it before was that car chases traditionally bore me to tears. Honestly, I can't be arsed with them, because usually after a while it's just but this is just so unbelievable. I love every second of it. One of the biggest criticisms from a lot of people in the communities, and when they've spoken to me about this film, was the fact that he's not a very good Bruce Wayne. Okay, he's year 2.
Yeah.
So in the comics, and there's obviously a lot of iterations, a lot of universes, a lot of different storytellers that have told this story, but and he realizes at the end of the film anyway that he can be both Bruce Wayne
and so we're going to see that
in the combination of he can do more good as Bruce Wayne to do the building of infrastructure and helping charities and all this kind of stuff and being a face of Gotham, but also be the knight, be the Dark Knight, and be able to take down the criminals where he can. And that I think he will have more of a personality. He'll be more front facing stuff. And this film is just very kind of shying away from it. I'm not copying his hairstyle, by the way. It's just I'm growing my hair at the moment. But yeah. So I think it's just amazing what they
did say, and he did say that going into the second film, we're going to see a transformation of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
we're not going to see the same, Bruce Wayne that we saw. This one was more vengeful because he was still young, still losing his parents. He's still brooding. But again, it was the realization. Again, the journey that he basically went on at the end of the film, till we got to the end of the film, he realized that the face of Bruce Wayne is what the world needs, and they need to basically see that he can do some good. He can restore the Wayne family heritage, and just kind of wipe off the ledger of the bad that they actually had. So again, that was a highlight for me. Of course, I keep forgetting her name.
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman. She killed it. Like she literally killed it. Amazing. She was amazing. She did such a great job. My only, again, and it's all things subjective, my only criticism of it was I didn't particularly like the Riddler too much.
I love the Riddler.
It was certain things where he was good, but I thought the jail scene when he was yelling the way he did was over the top. It was just,
that particular bit,
that bit of it was over the top. Everything else was cool, but that jail scene, it just kind of turned me off. It was just like it seemed like you had two actors that were trying to outdo each other at that point. You know what I mean? And it's like he went over the top for it. But I mean, understandably so. It was still, it was what it was. So that was my number 3.
Yep.
My number 2. Now, this is going to come to a surprise because we and Toya and I just watched this film, and I was blown away.
Okay.
Literally blown away by this film, and to the point that I had to reorganize my top 5, and that was Knives Out, Glass Onion, bro.
Did you really?
Bro, I loved this film. Me and Toya just watched it, bro, and I was like, I love the journey. I loved the way both characters played off of each other. Janelle Monáe's character did such a great job. I love the mystery value of it. Now, mind you, it was, the thing is, it felt sped up a bit, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. I think they did a great job with this film. I might have, like, the thing is, it's like, because I love the first one. I love murder mysteries. I love, what, Rian Johnson can do with murder mystery films, because that's his wheelhouse. So I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of it. And then the revelation at the end, of course. I love the way the story was told. So definitely That honestly, I didn't think it would, but it definitely
Mm.
made my number two of the
So,
year. Yeah.
For me, I watched it on Christmas Day evening when my daughter had gone to bed. Me and the wife watched it. I loved the first one. I
Yeah.
really, really loved the first one.
Yeah. The first one was good. The first one was
Very good.
definitely
Yeah, very good, very good. And how they did it. For me, though, I'm not saying spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. The reveal halfway through the film should be moved to the end. That would be more impactful, I think.
And that's the way I felt.
I think, yeah, and I think, I think the last half of the last third of the film got a bit silly, and it was really interesting, and I really, really enjoyed it up until there was a reveal halfway through the film, and then at the end it just got a bit like this person did X, Y, Z, and this person only got this as a comeuppance, and I'm like, really? For me, there would be hell to pay.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say anything without spoiling it for those people who haven't seen it, but I thought it was really, really good. It was really executed well. It was filmed during COVID, which is respectful. I love Daniel Craig. He's a legend.
Craig,
he's amazing. Is it Jarell? What's her name?
Janelle Monáe. Yeah.
She's great. She's really good. She was on the she did the actors on actors with Austin Butler, which is really interesting watching, by the way. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I think just that last part could have got a bit.
Here's the thing for me with that last part, and I think the reason why they did it the way they did, because it became more of a story about, because the reason why I loved it, and I loved the way they had the real the way it was, is because it came more of a confidence builder with her sister. Because the thing is, she looked at her, she looked at, not to really, I don't want to, give it away too much, but there was certain aspects of it to whereas how she played off the character, it was more of a revelation for Janelle Monáe's character, playing it the way she did. It just sort of like felt like she was no longer in the shadows. You know what I mean? And you can tell that even, it was like it would be, and that's why I kind of appreciate it for what it was. I was just thoroughly entertained off of it. And that's, I really, really was. I mean, I was telling Toy, like, I gotta watch this. I cannot stop watching it. You know what I mean? It just has to be there for me.
Apparently it's better on a couple of watches as well, because you know the twist. It's good. I think Dave Bautista is bloody brilliant,
Yeah, he is, bro. He's coming into his own. A lot of people don't basically understand that, but he is definitely coming into his own.
What he did in that short scene in Blade Runner 2049 was amazing.
Yeah.
And just what he did with that at the beginning of the film, I just thought then he's going to be massive in that. And obviously he's got a couple of films coming up this year.
He still has,
quite a few bits.
Quite a few movies. He got Guardians of the Galaxy, ended off that particular third, ended off the trilogy there. He definitely has Doom 2 coming. Like, I mean, so he's got a lot of films.
He's got that one, is it Knock at the Door, is it?
Yeah.
That looks good. The M. Night Shyamalan.
Really good. He's doing a good job, bro. I'm so glad to see him doing, and he's very humble about it. So I'm so glad to see that. My number one film, no surprise. It's going to be no surprise to anybody, and that's
just the film I haven't seen as well. I know what your answer is.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you haven't seen it, but I guess you didn't see it. I don't know, but that is none other than Wakanda Forever.
Oh no, I saw it because we did it film club. I thought you were going to say everywhere, everywhere all at once.
Look, it was a good film, but it was just too much going on for me to basically say that would have made my top 5, but it did make my top 10. This film to me, because it was more so a personal journey, and just seeing, how they handled it, what he was given and what he had to do. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this, that was it a $1 billion excellent? No. But the reason why I love the film, it was because what he was able to accomplish with what was given, considered the simple fact that he had already had the first treatment done. And then Chadwick passed away, and then he had to redo everything to make a completely different, like not completely different, but a mid transition based off of a person's death, a tragic death, and then having the actors having to channel those emotions into this particular film, dealing with those emotions, their personal journey with this person. A lot of people are like, well, I wanted to see Chadwick. I wanted to see T'Challa, replaced and, have his story retold or told the right way. Well, they addressed that in this film a certain way. For those who haven't seen it, you'll be able to actually check it out. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't, but you should have seen it already by now. I thought this film was amazing. It again, I loved it. I love what Letitia Wright did with the character. A lot of people were like, you know what, she shouldn't have been. Why did she become the new Panther? Read your books, read the source material, for a time that she did become that. And I'm glad and I'm happy with the choice. I loved Namor, what was, done with that character. Incredible acting with that. Of course, MVP of the entire film, well, no, MVP for me was Angela Bassett. Definitely her character and the strength that she gave this movie was incredible. I loved it the whole way through. I know it's all things going to be subjective with a lot of people, but for me, man, I definitely love this film and I'm so excited about it, man. So yeah, that's
I agree with you on a lot of that. It wasn't perfect in any way, shape, or form, but for me, no film really is. And this is what they did, like you said, and we talked about it on Film Club. And I loved the journey. I thought it was fantastic the way it was done. Ryan Coogler can do no wrong in my mind. He's just a fantastic director and writer. He's done some tremendous work. He had an uphill start on this one to very much get up and running on this particular thing. And what he did was just unbelievable. And that's not a light-hearted film. It's got a lot of weight to it, and it is full on in places, and obviously very impactful. But I think it's just fantastic. And for those people who are like, they should do this, they should do that. Well, they're making the film, not you. So let them just try and do what they can do on these particular ones. And they address certain things later on, and I think it is amazing what they did. I do think Marvel has a lot of work still to do to kind of get back into a lot of people's good graces. I think they just need to do less is more now. I think they need to concentrate. I do believe, and I honestly do think this, I can say this on record, Ant-Man Quantumania, I saw it, the trailer when I'd see Avatar 2. I saw it in 3D. I was like, this film's going to be amazing. And I think how they're going to show that Kang's a badass, I think he's going to kill Ant-Man. I think he's going to kill him. I think it's going to be his last film. That's my opinion. I think it's going to be Scott Lang's last film. And I think him killing Scott Lang will be a big deal, and people will start and feel the repercussions of that by going, okay, this guy's not to be reckoned with. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be something like that. But I do think, there's a lot of work to do with Marvel. There has been more disappointments than wins this year, which is a real shame, because you'd never think you'd say that, would you? Really?
Well, I think right now, to be honest, it's a lot of it was more so behind the scenes than what was on screen. You know what I mean? And I think now that there's a change of the guard, we got old guard back that can actually help steer the ship, which is going to definitely give Kevin Feige more control over his properties, and over like more insight on what needs to, happen moving forward. I think that's going to be an incredible ride. I think that they're going to actually rewrite, and they have to, bro. And I think this is why they even made an announcement that they're going to, kind of not halt a couple of projects, but slow down on projects. Spread out. And I would much rather them do that than to kind of just speed up and give, because we're talking about Marvel right now, and like I said, I don't want to, because we're trying to get through this as quickly as possible. But we talk about those hits. I mean, and we talk about the misses. And for me, and I'm just basically going to say this right off the back, the biggest film that disappointed me of the entire year, the biggest flop for me, exactly, was the biggest flop for me of the entire year. And I hold that. I'm not going to basically change my feelings on that. I think it was atrocious. I think it was a mistake. And what they did with that film really, really did thoroughly disappoint me, man. It disappointed me to no end. I was completely sad about it. They had so much potential going into it, you know, Christian Bale's Gore the God Butcher, even though he didn't look like the rendition that we know from the comics, at least the idea was there. And they could have, I mean, look, you name it, you know, Thor, Love and Thunder, you give him Gore the God Butcher, and we not once seen him butcher a god. You know what I mean? That except for the very beginning. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like literally, it's you got to do better. You know what I mean? You have to do better. And even like the thing is crazy because Chris Hemsworth himself, even though he was championing, you know, he was a champion for you know, Taika Waititi in the very beginning because he was talking about how boring the character was, you know, since you know, the second film, Dark, you know, what was it, Thor the Dark World, whatever. So you know what I mean? So he was talking about that, but then, you know, we got Thor Ragnarok. Okay, picked up some steam. You know, it was, you know, heralded as a great film. Then we go into this one. Taika Waititi basically is allowed to, you know, do whatever he wants to do, and then afterwards, and then like the critically, you know, disastrous, you know, reviews that it actually got from like a lot of people, and you know, even a lot of critics were like, yeah, nah, no, whatever. Then he walks it back a bit and was like, "Yeah, see, I think, you know, Thor needs to be taken a little bit more serious and stuff like that."
I actually listened to that interview. It was the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast where he was talking about Thor and what's next for him and stuff. He said if he was to do it again, it would have to go in a very different direction. And I think it's for him as an actor, and I think most actors do this. And it's been over 10 years. It's been over 10 years now since he's been playing this character. You want to do things differently, and I think Thor has changed so much since he first started. And obviously, he got affected by obviously the Infinity War situation, then Endgame, and then to go for the Guardians and all that kind of stuff, and losing all his family and stuff. There was a real weight that he addressed during Infinity War, and then he just got a caricature. It was like an SNL sketch with like a lot of it. This film, and for me, I had fun with it because it was just like, oh, it's lighthearted. But the way that they treated a lot of the characters, Jane Foster and Gore the God Butcher and stuff like this, was like, what the hell is this? This is just tonally completely off. And I think that's the thing. I think Taika Waititi got just he was left just his own devices, and I think he just got a bit silly, and it's a shame. It's a shame for this particular one because there were two really good stories there, both the God Butcher and also the Jane Foster stories that now can't be done again in these films, which is a shame because it's kind of like you've killed off those two really big storylines where they could have had some really going to be done really, really well. So that's a shame. And I think, I think if he does come back, obviously his daughter's love now. So that's his daughter in real life, by the way. That's how she got that gig. But I think, I think something needs to change. And I think what they'll do is with the Marvel films, I think they'll do the big event of Secret Wars and
they need to bring him back to his prominence, bro. Because what we got from, you know, I loved his journey between both Infinity War and Endgame. I love that.
Me too.
And the thing is, it showed how he can be serious and comedic, but kind of blend them both where it's believable and it's understandable. They made him a buffoon after Thor Ragnarok. Like they literally did. And I'm like, yo, like I saw it coming in What If, that episode of What If, which is my least favorite. I'll never watch again. And I saw that and I was like, yeah, nah, are you serious? And that's like this. You know, again, you know, I love Valkyrie, I love Jane Foster, Natalie Portman's portrayal, stuff like that. You know, I get that. And Christian Bale is like one of my favorite actors. And it's like, yo, like, how the fuck did you get him to do this? Like, literally, how did you get him to participate in such a film like this? I understand that they wanted to keep it within, you know, like more of a family value type of situation, but damn, to butcher a character to achieve your goal, I didn't like it. You know, I didn't like Taika Waititi's, you know, spin on it, and that's why I ended up. It's like, yo, when I think about the worst films, I at least give everything else a chance. This is where I thought this is the worst tragedy for me of the year. Like literally, when it comes to a film.
It was a film. It was atrocious.
That's hard to say. Really quick, let me address these super chats real quick. We got a $2 super chat by Bert. Release the Sam Raimi Doctor Strange 2 director's cut. Hey, if they got it out there, that would be interesting. I would definitely want to see that. We got a $5 super chat by Hoss Hometown Hero. I think there is a higher likelihood King kills Hank Pym, or Kang kills Hank Pym. Hank Jim or Hank Pym. Hank is the brains. That hits harder. That might even be possible.
Yeah,
That,
but I think for a movie going audience, you're
yeah,
gonna see, yeah. Obviously, Mark Douglas will be sad to
it
see.
could.
Yeah, but the main character getting killed off, the hero.
And it
That,
depends on the iteration. It
yeah,
depends on
that's
which iteration, because there's one thing I want to bring up that Robert Meyer Burnett talks about really quick. It's like Empire Strikes Again. When are we getting a collection tour? Soon. The
yeah,
new
good
year.
question.
It's the new year, because like I said, I wanted to wait till I got on vacation to kind of really organize everything.
Mm,
And then, like I said, next week starts my vacation. Next Wednesday it does. So definitely you're going to see it within the new year, probably within the first or second week of January. So stay
cool.
tuned for that. You will definitely get a collection tour from me. But to get back to that point, Robert Meyer Burnett talked about the reason why everything may seem so disjointed is that he believes that everything that took place in the universe is in multiple and multiverses, and that's
Yeah.
why there's no cohesiveness and that characters aren't tied together. And I'm like, well, if that's true, if that can be something that they kind of pull in, I'd love to see something like that. That'd be interesting to kind of see.
It'd be a good way to recon it, wouldn't it? It could be like, we fucked up. Here's a change. Is what we done. It was all part of the plan. I also heard him say that. I thought it's a great idea, but I think for the majority of the movie-going audiences, they're not as au fait as we are with certain things. That would be a tough sell.
It'd be a tough sell, and it'd be difficult for people unless they can do it. But if they did it in a way where it was completely, but I think it can be done, and I think Secret Wars is the way to do it. I mean, because if they pull it together that way, then it would make it would make a lot of sense. But they have to be careful. And here going out, they have to start tying things together. Like they really, really, really have to, because it'll make it believable. Because that's where things are actually going to come together. We got Mikey Lito. I thought that, Leo, until we got the synopsis of Captain America 4. Yeah. You know what, Mikey? Mikey, if you can, man, if you can do me a favor, bro, because like I said, I've seen so many different synopsis and different versions. If you can send that to me, man, because I want to read it. I want to actually read it.
I don't think they've officially announced that yet, have they?
Yeah, I didn't read it yet myself. So once I read that, then definitely I might be entitled to read
there were a couple of rumors about different locations where they're taking place and vibranium and stuff like that. So I don't know. But it's for you, though, Leo, what was your top 2 streaming shows or TV shows that you watched this year?
Ooh, okay. So top streaming show that I watched this year. Now, mind you, I have to be very careful because, again, when we think about it, we have to think about the streaming shows. Okay. All right. So I have them because I had to really think. I was like, okay, I'm not going to run into the problem where I'm merging both 2021 and 2022 together because it's tough because it was a lot.
Yeah.
I have to say that my okay, so I'll start with my number 2 streaming show. And that is going to be okay. All right. When we talk about streaming shows, it can be in any. It doesn't have to be just one
regular TV. It could be anything. Yeah, it could be anything.
So when I talk about my number 2, I'm gonna start with my number 2 yet. My number 2 first. And that is. Let me see here. I'm not even going to say it until I bring it up.
It's Googling what came out this year.
Yeah, it's definitely one that came out this year. It definitely is one that came out this year. And it's a surprise. And people might have actually heard this. But, it had me, literally, me and Toya watched it. I can watch it again. I've probably watched it a couple times. I thought it was a delight. And that was Wednesday, bro. I loved Wednesday. If I had to pick 2, we're talking about
right? Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Yeah,
Wednesday was incredible, bro. Like she pulled this off. She did such a great job as this character. I thought that basically the whole way through it was entertaining. She held that character together. She was the heart and soul of this character, bro, and I loved it. I mean, a lot of people might hear the hype and they might I'm not falling into that hype. It's whatever. It's all being subjective. I watched it and I loved it. I loved it. Partly because like my daughter actually my youngest played her for Halloween.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and the thing is, when I put it up, Sideshow of all play companies picked it up, and it was like one of the, they picked it as one of the photos, whatever, and people loved it, they enjoyed it.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it was definitely and but this, yeah, like I think this show for me was highly entertaining. And it was hard for me to pick because I was like, we got to think about streaming shows, but then it goes, and I was like, you know what, there are some out there that really, depending on what you, I don't know, it has to be viewed from a certain way. I'm just talking about the top two for me.
Yeah.
So definitely this was one for me. And the second, I mean, what's going to be on my number one for the year, again, all things subjective, what's good for me may not be good for everybody else, but what is going to be my number one, and it should be a no-brainer for a lot of people if they've watched the shows, if they've heard us talk about it, definitely that what they'll know for me is Andor.
Yeah, you can say that one. Yeah, definitely.
Andor all day, number one streaming show of the year for me. It was heart, it was a lot of drama, it was the dialogue. It just sucked me in from the word go. A lot of people, like I said, it's going to be highly opinionated because a lot of people really didn't like the simple fact that it was a slow crawl. That pretty much a lot of people say that it didn't feel Star Warsy like it should have. I'm like, good, because I wanted something completely different. I didn't want the same old tropes. I wanted to basically follow a story that actually made me think, made me see the Empire a totally different way, made me more invested in these characters, and to the point where you were invested in some characters and it was hard for you to see them go. This is what it did for me, and I cannot wait for season 2. We all speculated about a couple of things. I think there was a top tier performance. I hope it's basically nominated for some Golden Globes, Emmys, or whatever. I don't know, because it was incredible. An incredible ride for a streaming show. I definitely enjoyed it the whole way through. But that's definitely my second choice, man, hands down.
Yes, that's a great choice. Skarsgård, insane how good it was.
Yes,
that was unbelievable.
Yes.
I loved Andor. There were times where like, oh, come on now, hurry up. A bit like that. That was me personally. That's how I felt. But so my top two, number 2, Peaky Blinders final season.
Yeah, bro. Yes.
Yes, that was unbelievable. For those out there who have not seen Peaky Blinders yet, please watch it. It's all on Netflix, on BBC iPlayer. Yeah, it's on BBC iPlayer as well. And it's just a fantastic show. It's Cillian Murphy, absolutely just unbelievable act. It's iconic, his performance, and everyone in it is just amazing. And just the way that they finished the story of Tommy Shelby was amazing.
Yeah,
I was so blown away by how impactful that was. They are doing a movie, but they're not doing a movie of Tommy Shelby. I think they're doing of other people around World War II. So that's going to be really interesting, because obviously that was it's set just obviously post First World War and beginning of the Great Depression, and everything. So what they're going to do is a bit of a time jump, probably. But yeah, honestly, just fantastic. This was amazing. Obviously, Tom Hardy's great in it, but Cillian Murphy is the obviously standout for me, and obviously a lot of the supporting cast in it. Just amazing. That one is number 2. Number 1 is a joint first one, because it was something that I possibly came out at the back end of last year, beginning of this year. But it's something that I only watched this year, which was 1883, which is the Yellowstone prequel. Oh my God, it's just some of the best television I've ever seen. It's amazing. And also on that as well is Yellowstone. It's a show that I hadn't seen before. I'd always wanted to watch it, and it wasn't really available in the UK without pirating it. Tried to avoid doing that. So it was on like Paramount Plus and stuff like that. So I managed to get hold of it, and me and my wife just absolutely blitzed it. So both Yellowstone and 1883. 1883 is unbelievable. Obviously that ties in.
I haven't watched Yellowstone yet. I haven't.
Oh, watch 1883 first. Then once you watch that, watch 1923, which is the Harrison Ford Helen Mirren show. This is just fantastic. So it's about Tim McGraw there, and his wife Faith Hill in real life as well. They go across the plains to try and build a bit of a life for themselves, and they
keep on talking. I'm listening to you. I'm just fixing something real quick.
No, it's all right. Going across, obviously 1883 during its very, very early days into America and the development of it in all the different areas, and so it's them. They're the Duttons, and they're going across to build some land for themselves, which is the same land that Kevin Costner has in the Yellowstone. So it's all about that, getting that land, fighting for that land, and then obviously further on down the line, all the different spin-offs, etc., about them keeping that land and fighting for it. And it's just incredible what they've done with this, and Taylor Sheridan has done with this is just unbelievable. He's put the Western back in the zeitgeist, which was very much a dead property for a very, very long time, apart from recent films like 3:10 to Yuma and Unforgiven and stuff like that, which were obviously quite a while ago, but not a lot of people really got behind Westerns and obviously that kind of Montana kind of life and stuff. Looks amazing there. I'd like to live there myself, but yeah, it's just fantastic. Tulsa King's great. Only just started watching that with Sly, so he's killing it. Surprise, I'm still going on because I was sorting this stuff out. But big surprise for me as well for the year, a big standout for me was House of the Dragon. That surprised me so much how much I loved that show. I, like most people, loved Game of Thrones until the last season, and they very much rushed it because they thought they were having a Star Wars property, and then they didn't end up getting that. So when they decided to do the prequel for this and did the House of the Dragon, a lot of people weren't expecting very much, but this was just A-level cast of just fantastic quality acting, storytelling, writing, everything. Just fantastic. So those are the standouts for me. While everybody's still on and Lael's off, if everyone can subscribe to my channel, is Reviews with Rich. I'm currently on 337 or 338.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to 350 at least by beginning of January. So if everyone who are watching at the moment, if they can subscribe to me, I would very much appreciate it. I've got quite a few
definitely.
But yeah, so those are the standouts for me. So I thought it was very good.
Yeah, and what you mentioned about Game of Thrones, I mean House of Dragons, that was like an honorable mention for me, but it was just kind of hard to put up there. But yeah, definitely, man.
Paddy Constantine.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's just fantastic. And Matt Smith, we've been watching The Crown.
Blown away.
He's just an amazing actor, and he was amazing. Doctor Who was amazing in that, but what he's done in this is just fantastic. And he's going to be a mega star in the future with what he does.
Blown away by him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's done such an amazing job. Pretty much. Since he's actually even been on the zeitgeist in general, like he's just such an incredibly gifted and humble, but he's funny as hell too. Like he's really a funny character. But now he pulls it off so well, does such a great job.
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
Definitely phenomenal. Definitely, one to catch and one to look at.
So before we wrap up, two things.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise and biggest disappointment for you collecting wise? Could be anything.
Okay. Biggest surprise for me. Okay. I would have to say the biggest surprise to me is a figure that I don't have in hand yet. Even though there's figures that I love that I have in hand, I'm going to say the biggest surprise for me is that Tony Mech Test suit. That Tony Stark, that one looks incredible. I mean, from what I've seen so far, it was like, must have in my collection for what I'm trying to pull off. So that definitely was the biggest surprise to me. I don't have it yet. We'll have it in the future. And the biggest disappointment, it's tough because it's the biggest disappointment, yet not as bad as people think. But it is still a disappointment. I'm not going to say it's not, but it's not as bad as everybody may perceive it to be. And that's the Batman Begins. I would definitely have to say that that's the biggest disappointment. And when I say that, because like I said, you shouldn't have to get enhancements to make the figure better. You shouldn't have to pay for more. It's like to pay for the enhancements to get the cowl right, to get the cape right. you would literally have to like that figure by the end of
you
it is going to end up costing like almost $700. You know what I mean? And that's literally bad to say when you're talking about, you know, a figure like that, man. So yeah, it definitely was a large letdown for me.
Yeah.
You know, it was definitely a dumpster fire when I not a dumpster fire, but it was a bit of a sad moment. But it wasn't as glossy as everybody thinks it is. But I think that they could have did the cow better, and it could have actually given a better cape.
I think I think you're right. I think I watched Justin's review and I watched Dean Knight's review. Dean Knight, is his favorite suit, and he knows the inside out. And he did a scathing review on it, and that was like, okay. For me, that's my disappointment is the Batman Begins one, because of the fact that they rested on their laurels a lot when it comes to like the cowl. They didn't do anything different. There's like a 13-year-old cowl that they've kept using 4 times previously, and the cape looked terrible. The proportions look spot on. They look great. I think as the first night out look, I think it looks good. I was actually, when I watched Justin's review, I was thinking, seeing him in the first night out outfit with the harness and the head sculpt, I could get behind that. Again, the same with and the same with the Batman itself. I looked at that. Is it OT Customs? Which is the one that I think Justin mentioned. It's like £150 just for a cowl. I mean, it looks amazing, but I'm like, I can't justify that. InArt might do a version of it, so I'm hoping that one day. So that'd be cool. So biggest surprise for me is another Batman, and that was the Batman Forever.
That's what a lot of people were saying.
That is, and I'm not talking about articulation or anything. It's just how spot on it was. It looks like it's still from a makeup test. It looks perfect. I've even ordered Robin, which I wasn't going to do. So I was like, I don't give a shit about Chris O'Donnell, but it's just kind of like, it's just that as a set looks amazing. Obviously this came out as well, which was an announcement and a release this year, was the InArt Joker. I was absolutely buzzing last week when they did that unboxing video, and I've watched Joel's video of it today. His review of it. I'm so surprised of how amazing this thing is. I'm really pleasantly surprised, and I can't wait for everyone to get it. It's amazing. It's amazing. This is the first of very many for them. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to question what they're going to do long term, if they're going to invest in one or the other, or sprinkling of the two. Which is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to buy everything of theirs. I don't care about Pennywise. I care about the Batman, and I'm going to get the 2-pack that you've ordered. I've also ordered the Batman Hot Toys one with the signal as well. I'm going to have both. I don't care. I adore this version of Batman. But that one looks a bit special.
It does, bro. It does, and that's why I kind of was like, you know what? I did have like a bit of reluctance, you know, to it, but I got word of something special that's going to be filtered down the pipeline. That's why I was like, you know what? Okay, good. I'll go ahead and do it. So I'll just leave it right there. I can't say too much, but
let me just ask you, was it the reason why you didn't order things?
Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that. So I definitely got word of that. So just be on the lookout. You might get a couple announcements. So they'll know. But cool. Really cool. It definitely is cool. So that's what I'm happy about. Like I said, I mean, we don't get everything that we want, but sometimes with a little patience we will. So that's why I was like, okay, cool. I'll go ahead and do it. But that completely wraps up today's show. Thank you guys for actually being out here with us, man, and tuning in. It was such a great show. Rich, what did you got going on, man? What you got coming up?
Quite a bit, actually. So I'm going to be start the new year with Film Club again, but I'm going to decide what direction I'm going to go down. I think I might go on the one-on-one route. So it's like myself and you, or maybe one other person one week and stuff like that. Mix it up a little bit rather than having a panel of people saying the same things, basically. So I'm trying to do something different, trying to do something on my own. I'm going to do a film news and entertainment news episode a week, which I'm going to be doing. putting together that when things start up again next year. I've also got a 1/6 scale bunker for the Nightmare Batman, which I'm going to be reviewing as well in the next few days. I'm also going to be doing the best of 2022, both TV and film, in my opinion, and also my most anticipated for next year. So if everyone can subscribe to my YouTube channel, it is Reviews with Rich, and I would very much appreciate it. And man, it's been a pleasure again. I bloody love
always,
being
bro.
on here. It's great.
Definitely,
it's great.
Man.
It's really great. Yeah,
definitely, man. Thank you for being here as always.
Thank you.
What I got coming up tonight is Uncivilized Scoundrels on Mario's channel. So that's going to be on El Profesoro's channel. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow we have a figure giveaway for collectors or Figure Flex Friday. So definitely get those flexes in. It's an on-the-spot giveaway for the Darth Maul Clone Wars brand new. So tune in for that. And then, of course, on Sunday, I think we are going to return for the loungers. I mean, you know, we're going to do basically a collector's lounge international, 12 o'clock on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be incredible. And next week we start over again. New year, new things coming. So definitely can't wait for that. But yeah, man, everybody out there, if you haven't already subscribed to the 160 Man YouTube channel, you know, make sure you have, tell a friend, actually get them subscribed. We want to get the subscriber count. I'm trying to hit at least 4K by the end of either next month or the month after. So, you know,
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Project 4K. Definitely. That's where I'm heading, man.
I'm hoping to do some kind of giveaway around 1K subscribers.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near it for a long time. So if everyone can, everybody who have subscribed to me from day dot will be entered in this thing. Definitely. And I'll be doing a number of different giveaways, but that's only if I get to 1K. Not before. So
definitely, man, definitely. So that's what we want to do. But anyway, thank you guys for, you know, everything that you do, and always just coming through and making sure that this show is what it is. We'll see you next week, same time, and let's get better with the family. We'll see you next week as well. So anyway, we love you guys. Until next week, peace out. Let's go.